The Ashley is widely known for delivering constant updates on the latest happenings in the world of reality television and the personalities who headline some of the most talked about shows, but even with a consistent stream of reporting, not every major story circulating in the reality TV universe can be covered in one weekend. This particular update focuses on several noteworthy developments that have surfaced recently, all of which paint a vivid picture of the ongoing dramas, legal battles, emotional journeys, and business moves being made by familiar reality stars. Among the notable headlines is a major court development involving former 19 Kids and Counting star Josh Duggar, who remains a deeply controversial public figure following his criminal conviction. On top of that, other prominent reality personalities from shows such as Seeking Sister Wife, Southern Charm, Married at First Sight, Dancing with the Stars, and more have found themselves in the news for reasons ranging from business ventures to personal loss to public feuds. One of the headlines emerging this weekend came from KNWA, reporting that a federal judge has officially scheduled a hearing connected to Josh Duggar's ongoing attempt to have his conviction vacated. Duggar, now 37 years old and incarcerated at the Seagoville Federal Corrections Institution in Texas, filed a motion earlier in the year arguing that he was denied the right to a fair trial and that his constitutional protections were violated during the legal proceedings that led to his guilty verdict. U.S. District Judge Timothy Brooks has agreed to hear arguments on March 4 at 1:30 p.m. in Fayetteville, marking the next legal chapter for a case that has now stretched across several appeals. Duggar had also submitted a request back in June asking for a court-appointed attorney to assist him in pursuing the motion, but that request was denied. Duggar's filing outlined 8 separate allegations of prosecutorial and judicial misconduct, claiming that evidence had been withheld, testimony had been shaped by personal animosity fueled by media pressure, and expert witnesses from the U.S. Department of Justice had allegedly manipulated evidence or provided false statements under oath. One of Duggar's most emphasized complaints was that the court allowed the retrieval of juvenile records connected to members of the Duggar family, which he says resulted in emotional harm to his sisters and should not have been permitted. He further argued that TLC and Discovery Communications issued a statement on his behalf to the public, even though he claims he did not consent to the release of that statement. The filing also acknowledged that Duggar had not brought up many of these accusations during earlier post-conviction proceedings, a fact that complicates his attempt to open a new legal door now. It is also important to underscore that Duggar has already exhausted several layers of appeal, having been denied relief by his trial court, the 8th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals, and ultimately the U.S. Supreme Court. Duggar's legal journey has been lengthy and heavily scrutinized since the events that led to his arrest unfolded. He was originally taken into custody on April 29, 2021, after federal authorities executed a search and recovered multiple electronic devices and data from the office of his used car business, Wholesale Motorcars. Investigators testified that among the digital evidence uncovered were some of the most disturbing files they had ever examined, including a video that Special Agent Gerald Faulkner described as one of the worst he had encountered in his career, placing it in the top 5 of the most psychologically damaging material he had ever reviewed. Following his arrest, Duggar's case moved through the court system, ultimately resulting in his conviction on charges of downloading and possessing child sexual abuse material, a conviction that led to a sentence of over 12 years in federal prison. Despite that outcome, Duggar has continued to maintain that he was wrongfully convicted and is now attempting to mount a challenge based on claims of constitutional violations, procedural unfairness, and tampering of electronic evidence. While Duggar's legal saga continues to draw national attention, the world of reality television has seen several other stories gain momentum over the weekend. Among them is a business-oriented headline from Starcasm, reporting that Garrick and Dannielle Merrifield, known from the TLC reality show Seeking Sister Wife, are seeking outside investors for what they are describing as a luxury boutique resort project in California. This potential business expansion appears to show the couple transitioning from reality television notoriety to high-end hospitality development, a move that demonstrates how some reality stars attempt to leverage their fame into long-term entrepreneurial success. The exact details of the investment plan, projected scope of development, business model, and the kind of clientele the Merrifields hoped to attract were not elaborated upon in the initial coverage, but the story highlights how their continued presence in the public eye has helped position them for ventures that might extend their influence far beyond reality TV. When it comes to interpersonal drama, few franchises deliver headline-worthy shade like Southern Charm, and Reality T picked up on a story involving Paige DeSorbo, who reportedly made a now-deleted comment that many interpreted as shading fellow cast member Patricia Altschul. Although the comment was removed, the attention it received shows how fans and media continue to monitor even subtle social media exchanges between castmates. On another emotional note, People magazine carried a deeply personal and sorrowful report involving Married at First Sight cast member Meghann, who has spoken publicly for the first time regarding both her recent miscarriage and her separation from Derrek Wiedeman. Turner's admission was heartfelt and vulnerable, sharing her grief as she navigates both emotional and marital challenges, offering a reminder that behind the entertainment value and social media buzz, real lives and real pain exist beyond the camera lens. Meanwhile, Us Weekly provided coverage of an update from Bobby Bones, the Dancing with the Stars winner who recently addressed the emotional meltdown he experienced following what he described as hurtful remarks directed at him by longtime DWTS host Tom Bergeron. Bones reportedly explained his reaction, noting how deep criticism can cut, even when coming from someone whose professional role involves assessing performance and commentary in the entertainment sphere. These stories together paint a picture of a surprisingly eventful weekend in the world of reality television, where legal battles, business ambitions, emotional hardship, interpersonal conflicts, public image management, and celebrity vulnerability continue to play out in real time. The Josh Duggar case remains one of the most serious and consequential among them, not only because of the legal complexity but also because of the immense public interest that has surrounded Duggar and his family for over a decade. The scheduled March hearing promises to reveal new developments in Duggar's continuing challenge to the legitimacy of his conviction, though legal analysts observing the situation may note that post-conviction attempts are often difficult to win, especially once appeals courts and the Supreme Court have already weighed in. Nevertheless, Duggar's insistence that investigative experts corrupted digital evidence, withheld crucial material, misled the court, and that the recovery of juvenile family records constituted judicial overreach, means that the courtroom could once again become a central arena for the examination of his claims. Whether or not Duggar's filings result in any modification of his sentence or conviction remains unknown.